Hello, welcome to episode 27 of Book Read. I am going to Canada to meet author, actor. She pretty much does everything. Singer, healer. Her name's Peggy Sample, and you're going to meet her in a minute. Are you ready? Let's welcome today's featured author, the amazing Peggy Sample. Peggy Sample, welcome to Book Read. How are you, lovely?
Thank you, Jaden. I am well. How are you today?
I am wonderfully well. A, because I get to catch up with you. B, because I have a wonderful international best-selling author on my show. And C, because I never had I knew you could sing, girl, but I never had a clue that you was an authoress, darling.
Well, that was one of my favorite things when I was in Mexico, was singing with you.
Really? It was lovely.
It was fun.
We need to kind of sort out that in just the. I see it as charity work, really. I think you and me need to bring the glamorous sophistication to San Cristobal de las Casas.
I am hoping to make that happen.
That would be bloody wonderful. But I had no idea you were an author. So, is this your first book that you've written?
This is the first book that I've been part of that is not theatrical. So I'm a produced and published playwright from many years in my former life as a professional actor, which we can talk about another day. But this is the first time I've been involved in publishing a book. And it's really cool because I'm one of 18 authors in this collection, all Canadian women, light workers and healers and energy workers. And so it's been, my chapter is actually part of a book that I'm writing. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I want to take you back a little bit. What got you into writing in the first place?
I've always written. I've always been a writer. I have poems I wrote when I was in grade 1 and 2 that I have kept. And I started journaling when I was 10, and I have always written. But putting it out there and sharing it, other than theatrically, other than plays, I haven't done. So this is moving forward.
This is the first. Amazing.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that? Is it almost like, I feel like I've come home, or is it like, oh my God, am I good enough? No,
I'm home.
You're home, yeah. I say because even sometimes the most spiritual of us allow that little bit of self-doubt to creep in, and like, people are going to really, like it, or because I've had some authors on there before that were a bag of nerves about releasing their first piece. So, because obviously it's not like the playwriting is completely different. It's something that's going to influence the lives of other people, hopefully change the lives for other people. Hopefully. So there's a bit of responsibility on the authors for that as well, right?
Yeah, and part of it is, I've been part of a writer's group, so I've been honing my craft for 10, 15 years with this wonderful group of women. We're called Sharks in the Basement.
Okay.
Long story. And in terms of the spiritual work, I've had so many people for so many years saying, when are you going to write a book? When are you going to write a book? When are you going to write a book? You need to write your book. And because it's overwhelming, how do I choose what to write for that book? And then there's, novels and poems and things, but to share how vulnerable, right? There's knowledge, and then there's vulnerability, and there's wisdom, hopefully, and you have to kind of find how to share that all. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's quite an intense process, really, no?
It really is. It really is.
And like I said, that rawness, that vulnerability as well, that's like I said, kind of, it's very different to, well, I guess I'm assuming, because I don't write spiritual content and I've never written a play, but I guess the process mentally would be quite different as well, no?
Well, I think the hardest, how do I start? It's kind of like editing, right? It's you write and write and write, and then you have to edit and choose what. And I don't like editing. I like writing.
Yeah.
So that has been a learned skill to edit, and there's so much. It's how to structure things like this. It's not like when you're writing a story, right? Because the story has a through line that you follow, and even if it's got offshoots, you're still on an arc. Mm-hmm. And it's so finding an arc for a book that is informational and inspirational and helpful and healing and all of those things, which is what I really hope that my future full book will be, and I know that this book is. It's sort of like, okay, just focus on this one thing. So we were focusing on, the changing moment in our lives. So yeah.
Well, I want to know about I saw the front cover and was super excited that Jack Canfield as well had written the.
Jack Canfield wrote a beautiful foreword. Oh my goodness. And it was sort of like, and then we have and on the back we have 2 pre-reviews. Do you remember Rescue Mediums? That show? Yeah. Did you ever see that?
Probably not in England.
Well, I think it was a Canadian show, but Jackie Dennison was one of the 2 rescue mediums, and she's British, so I just didn't know.
I do recognise her name, actually. I just don't recognise the name of the show, yeah. Okay,
so Jackie Dennison is one of the pre-reviewers, and Sean Leonard, who is a Canadian spirit talker, he's the other, and so it was kind of like every time something new would happen, we'd be so excited, and then reading everybody else's chapters too. It's like I wanted to read them all at once, but I couldn't because it was sort of like,
wow, I can't wait to read it. So excited to read.
Yay.
So tell us a little bit about the book itself.
So the book itself is Seeking Alignment, True Stories from Canadian Light Workers and Healers. And so it is set up through the chakras. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to give everybody our stories of what the transformational or key events that sort of flipped things forward for us into our spiritual, like really diving in.
Okay.
And then it's our story, but then we also, at the end of each chapter, each author gives some either action steps or exercises or just advice.
So it's almost like a tale of becoming with a toolkit.
Yeah, and and there's note pages.
Oh, sweet.
It's really set up well, and it's because I was sort of like, well, how are we going to connect different stories to different chakras? And I thought mine was totally heart related, but it got put in sacral, which totally also makes sense, right? So it's kind of like, because it's about joy and creativity as well as about loss and growth, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Did you get a chakra each or a chapter each, or do you feature in like different parts of the book, or what's the structure of the book like?
Structure of the book is the 7 chakras, and there are 2 or 3 stories within each chakra.
Okay.
And that is so what does it say here? Sorry, I'm flipping through pages.
No worries.
So it says, for example, root chakra, Muladhara. We begin our journey at the root chakra, the sacred center of grounding and stability. Here our authors share stories of survival and the loss of innocence, moments when life's very foundation felt shaken.
Wow. Okay.
And so it's sort of like each one is connected, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's stories from the
and each woman has her story.
It gets put into a chakra.
Yep.
Wonderful. Yep. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, you give us a little sneaky peek, but would you like to read us some?
Sure, I will.
Okay, I'm ready.
So my chapter is in the sacral chakra, which is the wellspring of emotion, creativity, and joy. and my chapter is called Through Grief to Growth. There are things that happen in our lives that shake us to our core and shatter the world we've built. If we're lucky, we can take the pieces and meld them back together to create something stronger and even more beautiful, as in the Japanese technique kintsugi, that creates a new form of ceramic art by mending broken pottery with seams of gold. I was 27 when my world shattered. Growing up, I was always delighted by the magical, by stories of fairies and witches and time travel, by movies featuring friendly ghosts and mysterious nannies. I loved Bible stories, both Old and New Testaments, and Greek, Roman, and Norse mythology. I read Celtic tales, I delighted in astrology, had a board game called Mystic Dials, and of course, an Ouija board. I had intense dreams. Friends and strangers would tell me their stories, their secrets. In university, I was an English major, but took many courses in religious studies. I was fascinated by spiritual practice and belief. I sang in the official cathedral choir in Ottawa and wished I could feel the simple belief that I saw in the faces of many in attendance. It was also in university that I met a friend who had a tarot deck. Intrigued, I soon inquired my own, the classic Waite Rider-Smith deck, which I studied and played with. After university, working in professional theatre in Toronto, I became immersed in the feminist goddess culture that was growing around the world. I co-created and performed a play, Penelope, based on Margaret Atwood's Kirke Mudd poems, which is a retelling of the Odyssey from the female characters' points of view. In one fast-paced scene, I drew tarot cards representing what was going on with the women characters, where I shuffled the cards, then laid them one after another after another. There are 78 cards in a tarot deck, 56 minor arcana and 22 major arcana. In each performance of the 20 cards I pulled, the same 13 major arcana appeared every performance. One day, a dear friend told me she'd seen an incredible psychic, leading me to book my first reading ever. The psychic told me I could be doing the same work as he was doing, which I didn't believe. He also told me I would have trouble around having children. When I asked for details, he looked upset and avoided the question. Months later, my husband Ken and I were overjoyed when I discovered I was pregnant. I was due in August of 1986. At my 6-month checkup, my doctor discovered the baby hadn't grown as much as she should have. I had noticed she was a quiet baby, not as exuberant a kicker as my friend's baby, but put it down to temperament, not to health. Alarms went off, an ultrasound was ordered. There was a problem, and I was sent to the hospital. Perhaps there was a diaphragmatic hernia. Perhaps there was going to be in utero surgery. There would be real health problems with our baby, should she survive. After a night in the hospital, I was sent home for the weekend. Ken and I talked and cried and held each other. We agreed that we did not want heroic measures if our baby wouldn't be healthy. We talked to our little one and told her that it was okay to let go if she wasn't going to be able to dance in this life. Monday morning, there was a splash of scarlet blood on my underwear, and I knew she was saying goodbye. The hospital confirmed that there was no heartbeat. I carried her for a month after her death, as I was advised that it was safe for me to go into labor on my own, or if I didn't, in a month they would induce me. We got through that month of life and death all rolled up together, waiting to go into labor spontaneously, but I didn't. When the time came for me to be induced, there was a contract dispute between the doctors and the government. The doctors were working to rule, so my obstetrician was only available for basic procedures. Thank goodness for our midwives, who supported us through the delivery, and Jenny Joy came June 29th. I insisted on seeing her, but they didn't allow women to hold their dead babies back then. It was hard. Years later, when I visited Africa, I saw a mother baboon carrying the body of her baby. The guide sadly told me that sometimes a mother would carry the baby's body for months. I understood the instinct. For months after the delivery, I ached, a real physical aching. My arms felt empty, my heart hurt. I could not sleep on my side because through the ear on the pillow I heard a baby crying, crying, crying. I couldn't understand why this had happened. Was I being punished for something? I had always believed that things happen for a reason, but I could find no reason for this. It just hurt. Finally, I decided that there was no reason to be found, at least not then. In retrospect, this is the event that changed my life. My daughter, Jenny Joy, died before she was born. I would never have become as good a healer if I had not experienced this level of loss. It led me to seek healing through many avenues. It allowed me to be able to taste the grief of bereaved clients, to viscerally understand it. Losing my daughter was a shamanic death, the experience that tears open new levels of awareness if you allow it to. I can trace the lines of all my subsequent healing work back to this event. At the time, all I could do was to strive to find the peace that passeth understanding. This type of deep grief needs to be dealt with, or one will give up and drown. I was fortunate. A friend invited me to a shamanic drumming circle. I went, journeyed, and the real healing began. Walking home afterwards, I looked up and saw a double rainbow. I knew things would get better. And that is the first part of my story, which goes into detail what I did after that.
Wow. Kind of have no words. It's like phenomenal blessing, incredible trauma, intense light. I mean, I need to lay down in a really good way. Like it's not in a negative way on any level at all. It's just like, you know, it was real, and real sometimes really kicks you in the nether regions, right?
Yeah. And I mean, from there, that's kind of the. So this gives you an idea of the level of what we share. And then from there, it goes through my whole journey, all the different things that I did to heal myself and to then help working with others, and how my own spiritual and healing gifts developed. But I can trace it all back to that.
Back to that point. Wow.
Yeah. At this stage, how many years later, right?
Better late than never, love. Hey,
I'm just glad that. Well, it's funny because I think it was when I started doing mediumship. As I had started doing Reiki, and then I started doing tarot readings, and then I started doing mediumship. It came to me, which that's in the chapter as well. It explains that, but it was at that point that I went, oh, I get it. Because I would have people come to me who had lost loved ones, who had lost children, who had lost and I knew I could connect with it. I could taste it. You know, it wasn't my experience, but I had an experience that allowed me to really get what they were going through. Yep. And I think it made me so much better at my work.
Amazing. And we'll talk offline as well, and bizarre for my reasons that I will explain to you when we finish. Yeah, been a real constant influx of this story in the last few guests and people that I've met in the last couple of months.
Really?
Really bizarre. Really bizarre.
It happens. It's so interesting. I when I was when I was thinking about feeling I had to leave my first marriage, every client that was coming to me was trying to decide whether to stay or leave a marriage. It was ridiculous.
Right, yeah.
And when I was trying to decide whether or not to retire from doing readings all the time, every person coming to me was about, should I retire? It was just,
yeah. And yet sometimes it's like, I remember someone saying this story about, you know, like some person was stranded or something on this island and they had no way of getting off, so they were praying to God. And I don't know, like a a boat went past that was full, and they're saying, we can try and get you. No, I've prayed to God, God's going to help me, I've prayed to God. It goes past, a big ass log goes past, and no, that looks a bit too dangerous, but I've prayed to God, he's going to help me. And so we miss the message like countless amounts of times when we that's so I'll talk to you about that a bit later. The book sounds amazing. Like I really need that in my collection.
It's so cool. It's just the and everyone's stories. I mean, their stories. The dedication is to the seekers of truth and the brave souls who dare to journey within, and more. And the Jackie Dennison, the strength of the human spirit is extraordinary. We often discover our strength when we are at our lowest point.
Yeah.
And I think you can relate to that as
Absolutely. Well. I wrote a song as well, actually. It was called The Light, and it was saying that you only see the light at its most brightest in your most darkest of times.
Mm-hmm.
And exactly the same philosophy as well. Amazing. Where is this book available, young lady?
This book is available on Amazon, apparently worldwide on any Amazon site, and it's very reasonably priced, I think.
Wonderful. Well, I'm gonna do my research, and I'm gonna post all the links possible as to where people can go after seeing this episode of Book Read, where people can go and purchase their copy of this book. Is it available anywhere else? I mean, like, do you ladies have any tours or anything booked, or any book signings or anything like that?
There have been a few book signings because the 18 women are all across Canada. So there are 5 who are more or less down in the Maritimes. Mm-hmm. There's one out in BC. Okay. She's amazing. She does this incredible sound healing. And then there's a group of us sort of in southern Ontario, more or less. And so I have been ill with a nasty cold. So I missed the launch party on Friday. I missed the launch at the library, the book signing. It's like just, excuse me, hey, top of the hour. I didn't want to share my germs, right? So it's kind of like, but I think there will be more little events popping up all over the place, and where we can put them in independent bookstores where we're going to be doing that.
Lovely.
But for now, it is available for anyone, anywhere, on Amazon, both as a Kindle and as a hard copy.
Oh, sweet. And people at home, on the kind of the information section of this video, you'll find the links. You'll also find out where you can find Peggy as well on her social media. So get in touch with her if you have any questions about the book or any things that you need healed or you just need to talk about. So definitely get in touch with this young lady. Peggy, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really appreciate it. Good luck to you and all the 17 other young ladies in this book. Maybe I think you need to put the word out. That could be another 17 shows for me.
I think it could well be, because everybody's pretty passionate about what we've done here. So
send them my way.
We'll do.
Another 17.
We'll do. And thank you, Jaden. It's been so much.
It's been a bloody pleasure and so wonderful to catch up with you. I will see you again when your book comes out. Yes, I'm aiming for realistic. I'm aiming for winter of 26, but it may edge into 27. Okay. Well, I'll book you in. Okay, the minute you get you. We're on. Thank you, my darling. You take care, and I'll see you soon. You bet. Bye, hon. Bye. How amazing is Peggy? Please make sure you follow the links on the title page of this episode to go and purchase that book from Amazon. It's going to be a life changer, so please go and do it. It's definitely a must-have in your collection. Please follow Peggy on her social media, and you can follow me on mine as well while you're out and about trailing through the internet. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Book Read. You take care. Stay beautiful. Ta-ra for now. Bye-bye.